Gonna build a mountain from a little hill.
Hey guys, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is DeLady Designer, and in this tutorial we're gonna go over the animal talking points, the basics, and how you connect them with the new seating areas that are coming to you with the free update 1.7 next to the North America Animal Pack. So to make this all function as a proper animal talking educational area, you will need, of course, an animal habitat, which we have over here with the North American beaver. You will need the animal talking point itself, which you can find under the facilities tab right over here. And you will also need, well, this is optional, so you can choose to connect these or not, but you can also add these seating areas, which you can also find under the facilities tab. And you also have these railings if you want to decorate them yourself or just have custom railings. These are just optional as well, just decorational purpose. So if you want to put down these seating areas, I would advise you to make sure you have a path like you have right now. And you can tell if you want to place these seating areas, you can tell that they snap to the edge of the path, which is actually really useful. So you can either choose to put them on the path. I tried that myself, but they do cause a lot of errors with the guests that want to walk around here. So I would not advise that. Maybe that is a bug, will be fixed later on. But I would say if you're going to build a seating area, just make sure you snap it onto the edge of the path, or you just make sure like you have it a little bit more onto the path. Like I think that is aesthetically a little bit more pleasing to me. So both function as well, and as long as you have like a wide enough path right over here, I don't really think it will cause any issues here with your seating area. So now that you have your habitat, your animal talking point, and your seating area, it is time to connect all of them to each other. So first we're gonna go to the talking point, and we can tell that there is no species assigned just yet. So we go to the educational content and we select North American beaver right over here. We still need an educator, so we're going to hire an educator. But first off, you can tell right over here that you have seating areas, and you can link these seating areas, and you can also use the option to only have guests use your seating area and to not stand around your animal talking point. But that is optional, so you can still use them the old way without seating areas and just have guests standing around your animal talking point. You can use both of them, so people standing around it and sitting on the seating area, or you can have them only sitting at this seating area. So we're going to link these seating areas right over here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to link them all to this educational animal talking point. You can now tell right over here that water is obstructing food throw. So if you want the educator to throw in food into the habitat, you then just need to make sure that you have this animal talking point, but then without water obstructing it. So as you can see right over here, I just connected this North American beaver animal to the animal talking point. And now you can see that the status is can throw in food. So for this animal talking point, the water is obstructing food throw. Just keep that in mind, depending on what you want. If you want them to throw in food, then you have to make sure there's no water in between the animal talking point and the animal, basically. So now we do need to connect an educator to this animal talking point. So we're gonna go to zoo. We're gonna hire an educator right over here, and we're gonna put it down. And then we're going to make sure that we have a work roster. So we're going to go to work zones. We're going to create a new work zone. And we're going to connect the animal talking point, the habitat, and a staff room. That is the minimum that you need. Obviously, you can just select everything if you want to, but you don't have to. You just need to make sure that your educator is able to go to the staff room, to the animal talking point, and backwards. So we're just gonna call this, you don't have to name this, but I'm just going to call this Beaver Education, like so. We're gonna go out of this menu and we're going to select our educator. She is walking right over here. So you select your educator. You can also do this, of course, of the staff list. you go to Employment, Work Zone, Beaver Education. Now you can see that this error of the Educator is gone now. So the last thing you need to do is to make sure that you select the timetable. And it's right now September, so I'm going to say in October, I want this animal talking point to happen. And I'm also going to check using seating room only. So in this case, there are not going to stand people around this animal talking point. They are only going to use these seating areas once this animal talking point starts and the Educator is going to do their talk. Now, before we go and check out the animal talking point, I wanted to point out one more thing. Now, imagine having a bigger zoo with more animal talking points. To a certain degree, like I think a maximum of 4 probably, you can add the same Educator to different animal talking points. You do need to make sure that there's always 1 month in advance so they are able to go towards that animal talking point. And you also have to make sure that they have some time off to go to that staff room and to take some rest. I think the better your staff member is trained and the higher it is trained, the less it will complain and the faster it will be, the faster it will rest, etc. And it will do its animal talking points better. So yes, you can have 1 Educator for say 4, maybe 5 or 6 animal talking points or to do the education of. But yeah, just make sure that they're not too far apart and you make sure that there's always a month in advance that they're able to get towards that animal talking point and that they have time to take some rest. So it is now September, meaning that the Educator will be heading towards the animal talking point. As you can tell, the guests will be gathering around here on the seating area. Now, unfortunately, this is a bug. I have been trying to see if it would help if I would not be using the seating room only. But that doesn't change, so I already did report this to Frontier, so don't mind that for the tutorial. You can, as soon as this is fixed, of course, use the seating room only option or uncheck that one and make sure that guests will stand here and sit here. Or, of course, the option to only make them use the animal talking point and stand around it. But as you can see, the seating areas work perfectly fine, either with a little bit of distance from the path or when you connect them a little bit or overlap them a little bit over the path as well. So yeah, that is actually really cool. I do really love this. You can have a lot of guests actually sitting here. We now have 4, like you can obviously choose how many seating areas you want to connect. You can obviously connect them more nicely if you have a straight path as well. I did not do that. I just have a round path right over here. You cannot overlap these ones, so you cannot. Let me just select a new animal seating area right over here, just to say, like, you cannot overlap them. So you need to make sure that you have them nicely connected, but you cannot overlap them, just so you know. Now, a quick tip of what you can do to make this align very nice and perfectly. Let's go to a separate area right over here. We're going to click a path, depending on what you want. Of course, this is what you need to prepare beforehand if you start building your educational area. So what you can do is you can put down 2 paths, then go and select align to grid. And then you can make this perfectly straight and nicely aligned. So right now, if you grab the animal talk seating area and you would like put this one down, you can now very nicely, because it snaps to the path, connect these right next to each other. So there is a way of doing this. But yeah, you need a straight path for that, and then make sure, like, I don't really think that if you put it down like this, well, you can probably also align it like that onto the path. It's just a little bit more finicky, but you can definitely do that. And now you have a really nice big seating area that almost looks like one complete area, and with some decorations around it and stuff. This definitely looks very neat and fun to use. But yeah, obviously for this tutorial, I just used this bended not so nice looking path, but just a quick tip in between. And you can, of course, also decorate them and color them in any color you want them to be. So they are pretty easy to adjust in any seating area you want to have or any theme you want to have. So yeah, this regarding the animal talking points. And to get an overview of your zoo and your animal talking points, you go to Education right over here, and then you can have an overview of all the animal talking points you have per species. Conservation talks right over here. You can change the timetables as well. Like this is the one that we have in the back here, just to show you how they can throw in food if you want that. So yeah, this is definitely an easy way of how to manage your animal talking points if you want to, and you have more of them in your zoo, that is. So yeah, I do really hope that this tutorial was useful of how you can use your animal talking points and how to set them up, including a work roster. Do let me know in the comments down below, of course. Leave a like at the video if you guys enjoyed, and subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. And if you want to see more Planet Zoo content, I definitely have you covered on the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I really do hope to see you guys all in the next one. Bye guys!